Hey everybody, it's me, Eric Comley, the Garrard County 4-H Youth Development Agent, and this is On the Ground. So over the last few months I've been doing these segments and have really had the joy of getting out and seeing some amazing things. I'm in an amazing spot right now. But to see some of the places and particularly to look at some of the flowers that we have in Kentucky. We have such an incredible diversity of flora and fauna. And as a matter of fact, just up the trail a little bit, there's one of the red F stage newts that are moving across, that was moving across the path. So we've got some really amazing things. If you just get the chance to get out and see some of it, it's really spectacular. So I hope that you are continuing to enjoy these, and there's several of them out there now. So I wanted to talk about this little plant here. This is a rare plant in Kentucky. We actually have two. This one is in the Orchidaceae family, so it is an orchid. We have two members of this genera in Kentucky. So the scientific name for this one is Goodyera repens. Okay. And we also have in Kentucky what is called Goodyera pubescens. Both of them are what are called rattlesnake plantains as a common name, okay? Now the other one, the more common one, Goodyera pubescens, is greater rattlesnake plantain. It's pretty common. It's not that you're going to find rattlesnakes near it, but if you actually see it in the, when it goes out to seed, the tops of the raceme actually look like a rattlesnake's tail. They have, it looks like buttons, and if you kind of shake it, you can hear a little bit of rattling. Not that you hear a lot of it, because orchid seeds, like I've told you all before, are so small. But, so that one is extremely common. As a matter of fact, I mean, you can go in just about any woods in any state in the United States, even up into Canada, I think even over into Europe, and actually see greater rattlesnake plantain. So it's an extremely common orchid. This one, as far as Kentucky is concerned, is pretty rare. And I would venture to say really rare. So this one is called lesser rattlesnake plantain, Goodyera repens, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the differences between the two. So number one, the thing that you're going to notice on for both of them right out of the gate, and repens simply means crawling. So this one actually, as it spreads, it actually does so by crawling. And I can see one here. There's actually one that's down here. There's another that's over here. There's actually a couple over here. But, and pubescens, Goodyera pubescens obviously means that it's very hairy. And if you look at the leaves, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But let's start with the raceme, okay? So the raceme with Goodyera pubescens has a clustered top here on the top of the raceme, and so there's a bunch of flowers that are there on the top of the raceme. If you look at repens, you see that there's only one side that has flowers, none on the other side. So really, really cool, okay? Usually pubescens is going to be a lot larger, but I mean, you know, of course, you're seeing it in stages. As we go down the raceme and we get to the basal leaves, both of them have basal leaves, and Goodyera pubescens, the larger of the two, actually it's more pubescent. Obviously, it has a mid vein, and it's extremely variegated. Okay, so it looks like these white stripes that are all over it on the leaves as you get closer to the base. As you look at this one, and I'm not sure that you can see this one, and I'll tell you about my rookie mistake here in just a minute, but if you can see this one does not have a mid vein. So it is one that you're not gonna, it just doesn't have a mid vein, and there's no pubescence on it, okay? So I'm gonna try and keep my hands off of it because I don't want my grubby hands doing something weird to it, okay? So we don't see this one, I think, and somebody correct me, maybe Tara Littlefield Berry, maybe you can correct me, maybe some other botanist that's out there can correct me, but I think it's only found in one county, but I don't know. I mean, I don't get the keys to the castle or all the secrets, so maybe there's other populations, but this is the only one that I know about. And this one, as a matter of fact, this particular population I have not seen in 15 years. Now, that's not because it hasn't bloomed and hasn't been around, but I did a project in 2005 where me and some other people, Dr. Amanda Gumber, Blake Newton, Doug McLaren, Ashley Osborne, we all went out and we hiked a section or hiked portions of the Sheltowee Trace. And we actually met a biologist, I think his name was James Kaiser, and he came out and he actually pointed out this population. That was the last time that I've seen it. Now, I've been to this particular spot many, many times since. As a matter of fact, one of my, it's one of my favorite spots in all of Kentucky, but I had never really paid attention, simply because I was here to take pictures of other things, because there's some other cool plants and places that are actually around where I'm at right now. So extremely, I'm going to say for Kentucky, extremely rare. As you get into Tennessee, you only really see it in Tennessee, kind of, I think, along the edge of Tennessee into North Carolina. There are more populations of it in southern West Virginia than there are in northern West Virginia. This one has a variation too. So not only is it Goodyera repens, but it's also variation Ophioides. But and that one is, I think, to differentiate between the species of the one that's found in the Americas versus the one that's found in Europe. So, but really just an amazing, cool flower. Now, the thing, like I told you about repens, is the fact that it does spread by rhizome underneath the ground, or underneath probably this moss layer here. And so when it does that, if I was to pull up this plant, the likelihood of it being attached at some point along this edge is pretty good. And so I take one plant, I'm going to take all the plants. So that's one of the other reasons that, I mean, there's so much connection, not only with, the environment or the ecosystem, but also between each other. And so when you have plants that spread via rhizome, you pick up one, you're going to take out potentially an entire population. And we definitely don't want to do that. So, but anyway, so I just wanted to point this plant out to you. It is really amazing. I mean, if you look at the flowers, they're really tiny, just the tiny stalk. So let me just put my hand. So that's as tall as my hand is right there. I mean, it's just, to be in the presence of things like this is really amazing. And to see cool plants that are rare in Kentucky, or even the most common ones. I mean, some of the most common ones we see. But, if you get the chance to get out and explore, I encourage you to do that. Go to places that you haven't seen before. Go and see things that you maybe not have seen. We have beautiful parks. We have beautiful places all over Kentucky, so I strongly encourage you to do that. But anyway, so I'm going to let you all go. If you all ever have any questions about anything that I'm saying on the videos, or if you just have questions about Garrard County 4-H, you can reach out to me at Eric, ERIC.Comley, COMLEY, at uky.edu. You can also follow me on the Garrard County 4-H Facebook page. If you have questions about the things that you've seen here, or if you have questions about 4-H, I'd love to answer questions about 4-H and see if we can get you involved in your own county. So I hope that you all are continuing to enjoy these, and I hope that you're learning a little bit. But have a great day, and I guess I will see you later. This is Eric Comley, Garrard County 4-H Youth Development Agent, and this is On the Ground. Thank you all.